Hey everyone, welcome again. My name is Matt Cromwell, and this is Rebranding in Public, a show where we talk about how we are rebuilding, rebranding, and refactoring iThemes into SolidWP. Glad to be here today, and this is
Hey everyone, I'm Devin Walker and I'm excited to be here. Today we're going to be talking about migrating giant websites. So everybody knows we're rebranding iThemes. So iThemes.com is a very large and old website. It's about 15, 16 years old, right, Matt? And
it's coming up on 15 right now, basically.
yeah,
I think
how
May
many
this year is
blog
15.
posts we have on that thing now?
Yeah,
Sheesh.
I actually had to catalog, and it's over 1,100 blog posts.
Oh
So
my gosh. So 1,100 blog posts. A lot of these rank pretty highly for some really cool keywords.
yeah,
Quite a bit of traffic coming in for folks that are interested in WordPress, qualified traffic, you might
yeah.
call that from the marketing side.
I mean, I
And
encourage you all right now, go and search what is WordPress, and you'll find iThemes.com right there towards the top. So it's an
yeah,
important website.
so needless to say, when you search for something like what is WordPress, it's a pretty highly trafficked search term. We want to maintain that SEO, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So when we migrate a lot of our content from iThemes.com / whatever URL to solidwp.com, we want to preserve that SEO
yeah.
ranking. I'm not going to say the forbidden a word, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone knows marketers don't like it when you say SEO juice, so we don't say
Yeah.
it. We don't say it.
I learned my
But
lesson.
I think with big migrations like this, if anyone's done a migration, we're kind of, a lot of us here are web developers and have had to do migrations before. There's lots of tools that we can
Background
help
in
people with.
agency work, long,
Yeah,
in a yesteryear.
yeah, exactly. But I think every time it's like, oh, we're going to have to migrate the site to a new domain, the first thing you think is, oh crap, lots of stuff
Hmm.
can go wrong. Like there's so much risk involved in migrating stuff. Yeah, I mean, even not just from a technical perspective, like we can do databases, we'll figure it out, search and replace, like migrating that on that level. I mean, there's still risk there, and there's still a lot of moving parts, but like that in some ways, I feel like is the most straightforward aspect of it. It's more of these other um, search engine oriented things. I've been really nervous about the SEO implications in particular, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the most important thing to your visitors to your website, and
Yeah.
everything kind of cascades down from there. So what are we doing to make sure we preserve the SEO we have right now? I mean, it goes beyond just cataloging links and ensuring we're having proper 301 redirects in place, right? Like, what
Yeah.
else beyond that are we
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the first thing I started researching a ton, was just looking into like what does Google say? Like, and Google actually
Mhm.
has some really good docs on if you're going to migrate from one place to another,
Nice.
one domain to another. They actually have some really, really decent docs. I was like, this is what we suggest. And one of the routes that you and I still need to talk about and totally align on is like, I actually really tempted and wanting to kind of migrate over one piece at a time, more or less.
Mhm.
And not just have a big like flip of the switch, like one day it's iThemes.com and the next day everything is redirected. I actually think we can warm up the search engines a little bit by migrating pieces of iThemes.com over to solidwp.com, and kind of having like a rebrand in public, build in public kind of reveal along the way. I don't know. That's just
Yeah,
it's kind of
I
where I'm
saw
going.
that in Slack, and I actually thought about it. I know we haven't talked about it yet, so I mean,
Yeah,
hey folks,
here we
this
are.
is this is rebranding in public as it gets right here.
Yeah,
Um, but the phased approach does always appeal to me. I mean, since we kicked off this project, I've been talking in phases, right? Like phase
yeah,
one, we're going to rebrand it and not factor major portions right away. Then
yeah.
phase two, new features. Phase three, refactor. Like we've been talking sort of in these phases approaches without really boxing in timelines. But I'm gonna have to ask you, in this phase approach, I do like the sound of it. But what do you think the timeline for something like that is?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we haven't talked a ton about like public roadmaps for all these things, but we are aiming for the summer, so which is very, very soon. Um,
Mhm.
but what I like about this phased approach also is like, let's just say there's portions of the site. For example, well, one of them, for example, is online documentation. Right now,
Right.
iThemes.com is populating all of its online docs. In a subdomain through Zendesk. So help.ithemes.com is our online docs. And I really, really want docs to be part of the main website. I just
Me
feel like
too.
the SEO keywords are just so beneficial for the brand and for the products. Um, and I want to capture that. But
And control
truthfully,
it more.
yeah, and have more control for sure. But truthfully, like it's one of those ones where it's like we can actually get that migrated later if we need to.
Yeah.
It's not crucial to do that at launch, I think.
I think when we first came into this, 5 months ago, just focusing on the website, of course, we got into this before then, but when we started turning focus on the website, we were thinking we're going to do the quick turnkey switch over, right? From all the old URLs to new ones. That sounds like a phased approach now. We talked about migrating the e-commerce platform alongside that. That's a
Yeah,
whole nother beast, which we could probably fill up a whole episode on that.
lots
And
of risk
then
involved in that for sure.
there's tons of risk involved in that. And then when it comes to, the sunsetting the products and some of these other items, it all seems to have sort of gone into we have to pick our battles, right? The docs
Yeah,
was one that both you and I really wanted. We wanted to migrate it off of Zendesk onto our site into a custom post type, into the way we're used to working on some of the past product sites we built.
yeah,
But as we took a step back and looked at all the moving parts as just another big piece that
yeah,
takes its own migration plan to even work. So
yeah,
really we needed to focus on what matters most. And I
yeah.
think chunking it out in this phases makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I thought maybe we might walk through a little bit, like for folks who might not be as familiar. I got the iThemes site up here right now.
Yeah, pulled up.
Yeah. So, like, some of the great things about this site is it's really a hub for so many things. So, of course, we have our key products here, and just even already having lots of conversations internally um, on the slugs for these things.
Mhm.
Basically, one of the things I found in Google in the docs that they recommend is to try to change as few things as possible in terms of slugs and even content. And
Mm.
immediately I was like, well, that's not going to work. Like we're changing everything about these
Yeah.
product pages, the product names, the design. Like we're changing so many things about it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like, since we're already doing that, I think what we really want, we want the products to have their own category, their own slug category. So, the I think security, for example, is going to end up going to solidwp.com/products/solid dash security.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like that's a much more appropriate, much more clear home for the products in general. Um, but getting the 301 redirects in place and all that is going to be the key there. Um, Bundles is one thing that we're actually essentially sunsetting the bundles of essentially, but we are going to have what we call solid suite. And so bundles as a whole aren't going to exist like this at all. It's going to
Mhm.
be pricing. It's going to be a pricing page. So that's another really big one. Like all of these slugs are all going to be being redirected to solidwp.com/pricing. So
Right.
thanks, Google, for all your really great online documentation that I'm going to completely ignore. um, no, on these other areas, things like blog, you could see here what I love about iThemes.com from a marketing analytics perspective. The whole entire blog is in a subfolder or a subslug of blog. That really makes it easy to evaluate the effectiveness of the blog section. That's going to remain the same. Tutorials is actually part of it's going to be under resources.
Mhm.
Ebooks, we're going to monetize this a little bit. Nobody calls them ebooks anymore. We're going to talk
Right.
about solid guides, which we're
Mhm.
really excited about. Vulnerability report, all of these things are going to be moving and changing to different areas, but all going to still be available. So training is one that we're going to talk about at another episode in the future. We want to bring Nathan on and talk a little bit about what we're going to do with what we're right now calling Solid Academy. But there's
Mhm.
lots of opportunity here. Right now, all of these exist in a subdomain, training.ithemes.com. And we need to talk about exactly what the home of Solid Academy actually is. Where is the home base for that really important resource?
Yeah.
So yeah, lots going on. Lots going on. I don't
Yeah. Do
know.
you want to talk about conversion rate real quick and how we're looking to improve upon that, but at the same time, not mess with our baseline at all between this website right now, which I mean, obviously, we'd love to see converting higher, like every website.
Yeah.
But how we're going to improve upon that in the new site with various design things and how essentially we don't want to lose anything.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, conversion rate is something that we've been focusing on a ton across all the Stellar brands. Devin and I have done a lot of really fun work with our marketing team at GiveWP on conversion rate optimization.
Right.
We've been digging into that for a long time and doing lots of different experiments. I'd love it if in the comments, if you have your favorite A/B testing tool that is not Google Optimize, let us know because you probably have heard they're sunsetting Google Optimize, which is just like I don't understand. It
Yeah, me
was a really
neither.
good
They
tool.
actually made it usable and good, and then they're sunsetting it. So
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But we did when Devin and I first came on over at iThemes. One of the first things that we did is kind of beat up this page and try to optimize it a little bit more for conversions, and we did have a good positive impact on it. We really tried to beef up the to make it obvious how to buy and where to buy things like that. We also made sure to take away a bunch of opportunities to go off of this page. Like if you are landing on this page right here, we're assuming that you're trying to make a purchase decision in one form or another. And you're not here to learn about the vulnerability report or other things like that. There's other ways that you can get there from here. But if you're on this page, you're thinking about buying most likely. And so we want to encourage that decision as much as we can. So we're talking a lot more about this area right here. The way we're going to build that out on SolidWP is going to be a lot more focused on helping you make that purchase decision. Like, why do you want to buy iThemes, or excuse me, it's always going to be a challenge. Solid security. Why do you want to buy solid security when you could do free? Free is definitely going to have a place on the site, and it's going to be obvious that that's an option for you. But we're going to make sure that you understand all the benefits you get from purchasing as well. Um, and that goes across the board also with backups and with what will be Solid Central as well. And then the other big aspect when you're thinking about conversions, it's not really just like buy or don't buy. It's
Mhm.
also like what are some other purchase opportunities that are available to you. So you might be interested in security, but the first thing you think about might be backups. Well, we have a separate product for that. And so you can go and buy that product. But one thing that will be new about what Solid offers is being able to buy what we're calling the Solid Suite, which is the security, backups, and central all packaged together. I'm really
Right.
excited about that because I think the three of them really are paired together in a way that helps you be most effective with securing your website and
Right.
maintaining all of your client sites, things like that. So every time you're on a product page, you're going to have the opportunity to buy this one product or to upgrade to the suite. And the suite's home is going to be the pricing page in particular.
Right.
So,
And the suite, I mean, this is something that we're kind of modeling after some of the past brands, namely GiveWP that we built, and that with this solid suite, we're going to be looking to augment it and improve it with various other foundational offerings, right? So something with GiveWP we do, if you're one of our plan holders, the pro plan or higher, and we come out with new add-on or we mainly improve an add-on, you're of course going to get that new add-on in your plan. So it grows with you as you continue your
yeah.
subscription.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's some nice foreshadowing right there, Devin.
Yeah, was that giving it away too much? I didn't mean to.
No, I mean, like we definitely like that one. We talked about it with Alberto a little bit. How we chose the name Solid because it's a really good adjective. Like it should be describing additional products that we have, not just security backups and central, but maybe it's gonna like describe some caching solutions. Who knows?
Yeah, there's, maybe some other exciting stuff. We're
Yeah.
looking at it all.
Well, for other folks who might not be familiar as well, like this is what we're talking about on the Give site. Here's an individual add-on. Here's how you can buy the Stripe add-on for Give WP, and it's really prominent up here at the top. And as soon as you want to get the Stripe Gateway add-on, you have the opportunity here where it's like get the Stripe for 79 annually, or you have the ability to get all of our add-ons. Um, for a little bit more. So trying to surface that as much as possible to show that like you really want more than just one add-on. You're gonna probably want to have a bunch of them. You're most likely all of them, and that takes you then to the pricing area where we have our different add-on plans right now.
Hmm.
So in a similar way, we're thinking about it very similarly for these products individually purchase or upgrade to the suite.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're clicking through the site right now. One thing we noticed first when taking this brand on, well, we've known it for a while, is the user experience. If you start going past these main pages, it gets a
Hmm.
little bit interesting on the iThemes site.
Hmm.
You can find yourself in some interesting corners of the site if you yeah. That's one example right there. So you'll also see some videos there from like 2012 from the founder Corey Miller, which are still kind of relevant to this day. But
Yeah.
one thing we're really trying to do is improve the user experience on the new site, and that goes on the journey, the pathways that we want to send people down, but also um, removing certain sections and doing a lot of cleanup along the way, which goes back into that SEO aspect of it. Like as you remove and delete content, move things, we have to make sure that Google and various search engines are happy with it, right?
Yeah.
So you'll see sections like this, customer spotlight. What was that other like philanthropy thing that was on there for a while? WC like there was a couple different initiatives launched over the years that are no longer going to be here, um,
Hmm.
that I think distract from the usability now, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, definitely having. I mean, we're even talking about that on the give side as well. Is trying to define the customer journey as much as possible. Where do we want to guide our visitors along the path? And when it comes to the types of content that iThemes has, that we want to make sure that are maintained on Solid WP, there's definitely the purchase options. And yes, like we're not embarrassed to say we want you to buy something
Mhm.
for sure. But not everyone's ready to buy something today.
Right.
In other ways, we hope that we're going to be able to give you some free resources that you could just read and learn more and understand that we know what we're talking about and see us as a resource for you and your career and your business. But there's also going to be opportunities to opt into our marketing, which of course, generally speaking, that's top of funnel marketing. We want to make sure to get folks in. So a lot of these opportunities are here. And we're going to try to capture that as well. So if you're not going to purchase something, maybe get into our resources, maybe get into our marketing funnel. All of that is going to be available, and it's all for the purpose of like helping us have our best foot forward with anybody who visits the website in one form or another.
Yeah, absolutely. One last thing about usability is as you click through the site, you'll notice you feel like you're on a different design page depending
Yeah,
on where you're at. So
yeah,
you'll click on security, it'll feel different than being on backups. There's not a lot of design consistency throughout the site. And this is due to the site being 15 years old, the site having
Yeah.
2 to 3 different page builders on it at different times, maybe
Yeah.
even 4 considering Gutenberg.
Two or three different page builders that might still be there today.
They might still be there, right? And what we're doing with the new site is providing a lot more consistency, but
Hmm.
still a unique feel throughout the pages, right? So, like if you're on the home page and you click to pricing, it'll feel consistent with typography and things like that, and you'll feel like you're on the same site, but it'll still be unique to the page and the content that's being presented.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It it's exciting, and it's challenging for sure. I mean, migrations are definitely one of my least favorite things in this tech business.
Right.
But I'm one of those ones. I always joke like I'm not all about the journey. I'm all about the destination. Like just get me there. I don't want to be this middle
Yeah,
area.
I mean, usually you don't have that long to enjoy the journey, right? If our timeline was like next year, I think we'd be enjoying the journey a little bit more. I mean,
Mhm.
we are enjoying it, it's fun, but
Yeah,
we have to move, and we have to move fast, so we can't
yeah,
sit down in comfort.
yeah. Absolutely. Cool. Well, this is a great discussion, and I mean, it's easier to talk about with you than to actually do the actual work of the migration itself. But
Yeah,
but it is important, and we're going to get there. It's going to be cool. And once it's on the other side, I do think like everyone expects like we're going to have some volatility in organic for a little bit.
I think
But I
so.
actually am really expecting it's going to pick up a ton more afterwards. I think the end result is going to be amazing. So um, next, we're going to be right. Well, we have a couple different options. We're either going to talk about the website again. We might do that because we really want to show off some of the website designs that we've been working on because they're amazing.
They
No,
are
like
really amazing, and we were supposed
really.
to have, the designer on today, but unfortunately couldn't meet that on the schedule, so
Yeah.
I would like to do that next week if we can because it's really cool. I'm not
Yep.
We're doing a lot of motion, I'll mention
Mhm.
that
Yep.
little
Yep. Yep.
tidbit there, but, subtle and tasteful, not crazy,
Yep.
um, and I'd like to showcase that. I'm not sure how well it's gonna pick up in the video, but I think, hey, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, for sure. We also want to talk at some point also about we want to bring Alberto on again. You all met Alberto a couple episodes ago, and we want to show you the additional product logos that we've been working on that are
Yep.
all solid oriented. So we got that coming in store too. So for now, thanks everybody. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
Alright, see ya.